Doageris! Naidon Mevadas! Geletis! Zadrizes Gustaris Costaor.
It's the 1,000 blades of Aegon's enemies. A story we agreed to tell each other over and over till we forget that it's a lie. But what do we have left once we abandon the lie? Chaos. A gaping pit waiting to swallow us all. Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder.
How you doing, guys? Welcome in. My name is Ryan Milkey. This is my Game of Thrones, The King's Road, episode 2, season 1, Game of Thrones recap. We have a episode recap, which was, I have cut it down tremendously. So episode 1, we had 100 slides, I think. Episode 2, we've got 20 slides. But I have got text on screen that I'm going to read out, and you guys can feel free to pause it at any time if I'm going too fast for you and you want to read it as well, you can. We're going to go through that. There's 20 slides. We've also got Meme of the Week. Not so many memes this week. Fidel has been on it like rocking horse shit. He's literally been sending me stuff all week. But the only issue is with those, some of them are spoilers for future episodes. So I've saved them in a bank. I've saved them for when we get to those episodes, and then I can share them, because I don't want to. A lot of them are like Night King memes and all that kind of stuff, and obviously we don't know about all that stuff right now. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. Fidel, I thank you. Corey is in the chat. Let's go. Good to see you, Corey. Thanks for being here, my friend. You're always here first, always saying hi in the chat. We've got LSAPC in the chat as well. My Grandmaster. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Thank you both for being here. There's 3 people in the chat right now. Please hit that like button. Share it out to a friend. Let's get some people in here. Let's talk about Game of Thrones. Episode 2. Johnny Knight is in the chat. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you. We also have a slide for the direwolves. I know I said last week I would explain the direwolves this week, and we will. Rickon's wolf. I have chopped a lot of his stuff down because his meaning for his wolf's name is a literal spoiler for the show. So I've cut it down. You'll see when we get to it. But yeah, let's welcome in the reason why we're doing this, shall we? Under the King, my brother from Missouri, Poppin'. Good to see you, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. What's up? Hey, everybody.
I'm doing great. Thanks for being here. Thank you for, again, joining me on this ride. I'll probably say that to you 73 times. Maybe not when we get to the later episodes, but we'll see. How you doing, bro? How's the week?
Doing good. It's Monday. It was a typical Monday, but it's over. So it's hot.
Yeah.
It's Game of Thrones time and then some Fortnite, so it's all good.
Hell yeah, it's going to be a great night. Definitely. Let's welcome in our other guest on the stream. You all know him. He's always here on the channel. My co-host, Headless Ned Stark. Good to see you, buddy. You're muted, by the way.
There we
You're
go.
muted in StreamYard. There you go.
I gotta fix this wire on this thing. Every time I touch it, it tells me I'm disconnected, and then no.
You're muted in StreamYard.
Yeah, I did it again. It's ridiculous. I literally touch it and it just disconnects. It's so weird.
Yeah, you need to get a new one.
Yeah, I'm going to buy a new wire. So, but yeah, what's going on, guys?
Good. Yeah, just chilling. Crazy week. I love getting to this day of the week. You know, I'm excited. every day of the week. I leave it to late, you know. Every week I could literally get on tomorrow and plan next week's live, but I leave it to the weekend for some reason because it just builds that anxiety and excitement. And then I get on the PC and start. My arm is killing me because I have to sit on this chair and I have to lean forward for the mouse. And it's, I need to get a new chair. But yeah, thanks for being here, Headless. Thanks for being here, Poppin. Headless, how's your week been?
Good. I was in Chicago for Fan Expo this past weekend. It's just, I don't know. It was good. It was great, you know. But like, it's just, man, it's so funny how these different smaller cons. I mean, and honestly, it's not really. I wouldn't consider it a smaller con. The guest list was amazing. But man, these guys need to get together more and figure out what the hell they're doing, because the people that work there, and again, I understand most of these people are volunteers, but man, oh man, they gotta get on the same page, because there was a couple that was, you know, a couple guests that was just, it was awful. Matthew Lillard was there, so he's probably best known as Stu from Scream. He was in a bunch of movies in the late 90s, early 2000s. And, for me, he was also in Twin Peaks: The Return. But the dude is super nice. But we got super lucky because we didn't have to wait long. Dude, I heard things that people were in line for 6-7 hours waiting for his autograph. And, it's just, and I get it because he does talk. He's a talker, because we were up there for a few minutes talking to him. And I don't know. It's just, we probably rushed it. Because I was actually in line for Tamora Morrison, who is Boba Fett, Commander Cody, all the clones basically, right? And and Tamora is a talker. I have about 3 minutes of footage that in the video that I'll be dropping tomorrow on the con. And again, he's a talker, but like, so we didn't talk to Matthew that long because I was already in line, and I had another couple kind of hold my spot because Doreen was in line for Matthew. And she beat me there because we both got on at the same time. So I went over there really quick so I could meet him and get the pop signed. And I think I have it here somewhere actually. Yeah. So there's Matthew Lillard, and then it's unfortunate. Like I don't have a problem with the quote, but I wanted something different, and I basically just said I'm gonna have you put a quote on the side, and he kind of just did it himself. Which it's fine. It's one of the funnier lines, but I had something definitely different in my mind. But like, hearing other people wait in line for 6 hours, man, it is it's brutal, dude. And then on Sunday, I had all we had to do so we were leaving Sunday. All we had to do was go to Rosario Dawson, which I already prepaid for, so I literally just had to get in line and get it. And then I had Mark Hamill. I did a photo op with him, and we got in line at 9:20 in the morning. Like the con doesn't even open at 10, but because we had press, we were able to kind of just get right in there. And it's amazing how many people are already in there, though. It's the funny thing. And I understand like VIP, like I get it, man. VIP at cons, dude, it's a lot of money. I completely understand it. But so Rosario gets there. Of course, she gets there like a half an hour late. So she doesn't even start autographing until like 10:30. So we're already in line for over an hour. She starts autographing. Dude, it's VIP for like an hour. We're just standing there. And it's just VIP. And then like, the line will be all the way down. And then all of a sudden, like more people will trickle in and they would let them go before us. I don't know. It's most cons don't do that. Most cons will be like 5 VIP and then maybe 5 regular standby. 5 VIP, you kind of bounce back and forth. VIP's never got to stand that long. You know what I'm saying? That was I think that's what they were doing with Matthew Lillard, and that's why people were so frustrated. I don't know, but what ended up happening with Rosario was we got online at 9:20. At 11:50, she had a team up photo op with Hayden Christensen because he was there too. So she had to leave, and they said that she wouldn't be back to 1:00. So it was like almost 4 hours waiting for her autograph.
That's insane.
I lined up there.
Yeah. So people will be able to catch your video tomorrow on your channel. They're going to drop your video.
Yeah. I'll kind of break it down. But yeah, I mean, overall it was fun. I mean, Mark is awesome, dude. I mean, you don't get a lot of time, but yeah. So, but it was cool to you know, I
Yes.
met him once, and I was able to I just kind of told him, I said, listen, I really appreciative you know, with everything that you've done for the Star Wars community. He, you know, he kind of gave me a smile, and we did I thought the picture came out really well, and
Nice.
yeah, so it was fun, but there's a lot of things that these smaller cons have to fix, that's for sure.
Jeremy says Mitchie's phone has her phone blocked from commenting. She must be a quiet night, and then she managed to get unblocked. I don't know why you were blocked, Mitchie. That's a strange one. Charles, what did you think of episode 2? She's asking. I'm unblocked, and she says, Ryan, you look sad. Yeah, I don't know why. Just my resting bitch face, I think. Charles, what did you think of episode 2? The question has been posed to you in the chat.
I liked it. I liked it more than episode 1. There was more action. I actually took some notes. You know, we'll talk about that here, I'm sure, when we go through the slides. But I have a few questions, and yeah, I took some notes. But I really like this episode more than the first one. So
Nice. I like it. That's a good way to go. If you keep getting better and better, you know, you're gonna love the show. Jeremy's laughing his ass off in the background. Let's get straight into it, shall we? We have the slides. Like I say, there's only 20 of them, and I do have text on screen that I will be reading out. Charles, when your notes work with the episode, please feel free to let me know what you've written down and stuff like that.
yeah.
Headless, what did you think of the second episode? Just before we get into this slideshow.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because you remember too, and Charles, you may or may not know this. They actually filmed the pilot, and they ended up refilming it because it was so horrible. And I think,
Yeah.
Brian, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they replace some of the actors as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So some of the actors that we see, they replace some people in the original pilot. You know, it's funny. I do like the first episode, but sometimes when I watch these back to back, it feels like I'm watching two totally different shows. It's just the production is so much better in the second episode. And again, I know a pilot is different because you don't know if you're going to be picked up or whatever. So I know it's always got a little bit of a different feeling, and that goes for a lot of shows, you know. But yeah, I think this episode, like Charles said, you got a little more action. You know, you kind of get a quick introduction in the first one. We see the conclusion at the end with Bran, and now we're moving forward, and we got different people moving to different parts, you know. And also, I remember too, watching the first episode, I was really, really confused with the whole Daenerys thing. Now, granted, I've watched it how many times now, so now it makes sense. But watching it as a new viewer, not really knowing the lore at all, I was so confused on what that whole part of the show was about. But this episode
fills that in, doesn't it? Because Robert fills in that gap for you and says there's Targaryen bastards across the sea. So
that's true. And this episode definitely helps you understand what exactly is going on a little bit more. But yeah, so I agree. I think this is a better episode overall as well.
Fidel, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Great to see you. Let's get into it, shall we? So the map opens just beyond the narrow sea at King's Landing, where we see the Baratheon Stag sigil, north to Winterfell, where we see the Stark Direwolf sigil, north to the Wall, then back down east to the Dothraki Sea and across the Vales of Dothrak. And then in episode 1 ended with Bran Stark falling out of a high castle window, courtesy of Jaime Lannister, the incestuous twin brother of the reigning queen. So naturally, we begin episode 2 with the Dothraki. Okay. They're marching across the vast wasteland, and Daenerys, Dany, is not happy with an endless trek and nothing but horse jerky for dinner. To cheer her up, Jorah Mormont tells her that the Dothraki end-of-world fable about dead ghost grass covering the world. Maybe storytelling isn't his thing. Now, I clipped this because it was only after 4 or 5 rewatches that I actually caught this line. And yeah, it's pretty crazy when you know what's coming. And it's a cool story.
Shy. They say there are fields of ghost grass with stalks as pale as milk that glow in the night. Mud is all other grass. The Dothraki believe that one day it'll cover everything. That's the way the world will end.
So yeah, very interesting conversation at the very beginning there. I just wanted to share that one with everybody.
So my first question was, what? She doesn't like meat?
Yeah, good point. Yeah, what does she eat? You don't really see Daenerys eating much in this show.
Just gotta keep that
Yeah,
girl.
good point.
Here.
Good point. Yeah, she likes meat, raw or cooked. Just
Yes,
saying.
it does.
Danny's brother Viserys is travelling with them since he doesn't want Drogo backing off of his deal. We learn a little later more about Ser Jorah. He was banished from the Seven Kingdoms and is wanted by Ned Stark for trying to sell poachers he caught on his land to slaves. Slavery is illegal and punishable by death. Rather than turning to poachers over to the Night's Watch. And then we have more scenes. Another one of my favourite images. This now that Blaze comes in here and says, "Lame, lame, lame." I have now given Blaze the moniker of Joffrey Baratheon. So now I see Blaze as Joffrey.
Oh yeah.
Mormont is a great character, says Jeremy. I completely agree.
Yeah,
Yummy.
and real quick, can you go back to the quote, or not the quote, but like what Jorah, he's banished, right? It's funny too because you're right. It takes you a couple times to actually really listen in and see what is going on with him, because he's a strange character in the beginning of the series. I didn't really know, like, is he a good guy, bad guy? But you hear this, you're thinking, okay, can't be good, right? I mean, you know, and we know that at this point already, we kind of know that Ned Stark is he's like the guy we're rooting for. And it's interesting the way they play that off with him. I always thought that was really interesting, the way they kind of introduce us to Jorah, because Jeremy nailed it. I mean, Jorah's one of the best characters in the show. I mean, by far.
Yeah. What makes me laugh is I plan these live streams out for Charles so that we don't spoil anything for him through the story. Yeah. I know now I could do this all over again once you finish watching it, Charles, because of all the foreshadowing that is in every single episode that I could point out to you and say, this links to season 4, this links to that. And it's crazy, and having to go through it and leave them all out and not include certain things, because it's like I have to reread everything going, is that a spoiler for Charles or not? But yeah, I hope I don't spoil anything, as I always say. I don't think I will, but we'll keep going. Tyrion Lannister wakes up in Winterfell doggy daycare, and his nephew Joffrey Baratheon is there for the gratuitous one line of the morning. Better looking bitches than you're used to, uncle. Tyrion ignores the jibe and instead reminds his nephew of his duty and tells him to send his sympathy to Lord and Lady Stark before they all head off to King's Landing. Joffrey tries to act cool and macho. He won't send his sympathies. The boy meant nothing to him, and he can't stand the wailing of women. He turns to Sandor Clegane, aka the Hound, for a knowing look and gets none. When he turns back, whap, his foot shorter uncle just slapped the hell out of him. One of my favourite scenes.
Yeah.
Lord and Lady Stark, and offer your sympathies.
What good will my sympathies do then?
None, but it is expected of you. Your absence has already been noted.
The boy means nothing to me. Oh, I can't stand the wailing of women.
One word, and I hit you again.
I'm telling Mother.
Go. Tell her. But first you will get to Lord and Lady Stark, and you will fall on your knees in front of them and tell them how very sorry you are, that you are at their service and that all your prayers are with them. Do you understand?
You can't.
Oh, you can't. Oh God, I hate him so much, dude. Oh my God.
I hate him too. I think we're designed to, though, aren't we? He looks shocked, whimpers, then gets another. Tyrion tells his nephew what is expected of him, and the boy argues a third time, so he gets a third slap. The Hound warns the imp that the prince won't forget that. Tyrion seems unconcerned and merely heads off for a good post-slapfest breakfast with his family. He turns about, joining the trek up north to see the infamous wall. Jamie kids him about taking the black, and Tyrion jokes and go celibate. The whores would go begging from Dawn to Casterly Rock. Instead, he tells them he wants to stand on top of the wall and piss off the edge of the earth. Some of the best lines are delivered in this episode, in my opinion. I love this episode, and that's why I said last week that this episode will be higher ranked than the previous one. And we have some awesome scenes at the dinner table. After good-natured interplay with his younger nieces and nephew, Tyrion can be a nice uncle if not provoked. He mentions that Bran will not die from the fall. They could have told us that at the beginning of the episode. The little girl Marcella is happy to hear that. Her mother Cersei not so much. The Queen tries to hide her concern with false mercy. saying how she doesn't want the poor boy to suffer. Jamie picks up on the party line and says that they shouldn't spare the boy's life as he'll end up a cripple. Grotesque. Give me a good, clean death any day, Jamie adds. Their diminutive brother does not take kindly to the implication that being less than perfect means having no life not worth living. When Tyrion curiously says he'd love to hear what Bran had to say about his fall, Jamie questions what side Tyrion is on, and Tyrion is taken aback. You know how much I love my family.
Yeah.
Again, fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's catch up on the chat.
I liked his line where a dark pint for breakfast. I'm like, yeah, he's my kind of guy.
Mitchie says, you know what's yummy? Aquaman. Okay. They do. I think they painted on his muscles. They can't be real, right? Johnny says, Ryan, I've been working on something for you for the last few days. I'm going to send it to you on Instagram. Hopefully you like it. Bro, thank you very much. I'm sure I'll like anything you sent. If you've taken time to make something for me, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes.
And we'll share it on the stream next time we go live. I think we're hosting the Horseman on Friday, so that'll probably be the first place people will see it, if it's something I can share like that. Jeremy says, it's hard to watch one episode a week. I want to binge it again, but it's easier following along with this weekly live. Yeah, Jeremy, the trick is to do what I did and watch episode 2 3 times today. I have got the big TV behind me. I was sat on the couch, comfy, and I just pressed play. And then it finished, and I was like, let's just watch it again. And I literally watched it back to back. And I was like, this is such a good feeling to have. And then the third time I sat with my notes in my phone and started creating this stuff. Corey says, absolutely loves that scene. Completely agree. Oh, this so-called king. Jeremy sounded like that when I slapped him with a tortilla. Oh, I wish I had that clip to play. That would be hilarious.
There is a video of it, yeah.
There is, yeah. I wish I had that clip for next week. We don't speak of that, Mitchie. Any videos, says Fidel. Yes, there is. Awesome. So speaking of loving family, Catelyn is sitting vigilantly over Bran as he lingers in a coma. Cersei comes by and talks about the son she lost, a black-haired beauty taken by her by a fever. Cersei says that she was praying for Bran and she has tears in her eyes. But is that because she fears he'll die or he'll live? I'll pose that question to you, Charles.
Now what?
Is she crying because she fears that he'll die or that he'll live?
She fears that he's going to live because of what he saw, what he knows.
Okay, I like it.
The tears are fake, and that's what I wrote. Oh, tears for the boy that her and her brother who were pushed from a window,
Yeah. So this is a change for the books, guys. I'll let you know. This is made up for the show. This is not in the books whatsoever. Cersei does not give birth to a boy that is lost to the fever. In fact, Cersei aborts the boy to get at Robert in the book. So it's a very different story. And fun fact as well, the scene here with Cersei and Catelyn, it was actually Cersei's audition that she did. That was her audition tape, and that's how she became Queen Cersei. Knowing that now, it's kind of cool to look at the subtle differences that she does as a character, knowing what she does later on in the story. So definitely, again, one of those things we can go back and talk about another time, Charles, once you've understood the whole story and stuff. Jon Snow is outside watching as a sword is being forged, and Jaime Lannister comes up to tweak him a little bit. Jon is an open wound. He must feel like an outsider, even if he is Ned's son and is becoming a member of the Night's Guard as much to have a place to fit in as a guard, the realm from what lies beyond the wall. Jaime can't help but poke at him, exposing and irritating Jon's every single raw nerve. Jon has a better time saying goodbye to Arya. He presents her with a gift before he leaves, her own sword. Arya is ecstatic with her gift. Jon tells her to practice with them and gives her her first lesson. Stickle with the pointy end, she says. And I think we have a video of that.
This is no toy. Be careful you don't cut yourself.
You're so skinny.
So are you. I had the blacksmith make it for you special. It won't hack a man's head off, but it can poke him full of holes if you're quick enough.
I can be quick.
You'll have to work at it every day. How's it feel? Do you like the balance?
I think so.
First lesson. Sticking with the pointy end.
Again, some of the lines that I hold dear to my heart from this show. They are amazing lines. Let's catch up with the chat as we're going. Jeremy says she had to see for herself that he was going to live. Then she knew what she had to do and set up what else happens in the episode, talking about Cersei. I do have a clip for Cersei that I want to play so that we don't overlook it.
I lost my first boy, little black-haired beauty. He was a fighter too. Tried to beat the fever. Forgive me.
Yeah. From the books, she's lying in that point, and I literally named that video clip Cersei Cold-Hearted Bitch. That's what that one's called.
Yeah.
Or Cersei Cold-Hearted, sorry. Yeah, bitch is somewhere else in here. Charles, what do you think to Needle? The sword.
I like that. I think John's a great big brother for giving it to her. Because he is going away. But yeah, I think it's going to really play a pivotal role here coming up. So yeah. No.
Okay. Douglas, anything you want to add about Needle?
Down there. Thank you.
No, I just love all the names that they make the swords. They give all the swords a great name like that. So it's cool. It makes sense.
I agree completely.
Yeah.
They have a sweet embrace, and Arya tells him that she'll name her sword Needle. Sansa has her sewing needles, and Arya will have this one. After this tender goodbye, Jon says a good farewell to Bran, but he is met with itchy detachment by Catelyn. He focuses on Bran, telling him about his plans and his hope that Bran can someday visit him at the Wall. And how does Lady Stark, the matriarch of this old and noble family, handle Jon's departure? With all the warmth of Cersei, she hisses, "I want you to leave."
I want you to leave.
Mom.
Very powerful scene. And notice in that shot as well how Eddard Stark is center of frame, but kind of like grayed out a little bit. It's like she's focusing her feelings towards her husband Ned, but she can't say that because he's the Lord of Winterfell. So she expresses all of her emotion and all of her hatred on towards Jon, because Jon is an outsider to her. Makes complete sense. Where are we? I want you to leave. Way to blame the child for your husband's broken vows. Catelyn is mad at Ned for leaving again with Robert. Last time he brought back a bastard child. What this time? But now she's taking... But there's no talking him out of his decision. I think that's... Yeah, I'm caught up videos. We're halfway through the slides for the episode, guys. Jon gets a kind of farewell from his brother Robb and his father, and off he goes north to join the Night's Watch. Take the black and break girls' hearts with his vow of chastity. Along the kingsRoad, Ned and Robb talk old wild times, but Ned is tight-lipped about the details of his past indiscretions. They discuss Dany Targaryen and her potential threat as an offspring to the Mad King, and the new wife to Dothraki Carl, and Robert is concerned, but Ned dismisses Dany as just a child. And then we have this.
Gods, this is country.
Just you and me on the kingsRoad, swords at our sides. A couple of tavern wenches to warm our beds tonight.
You'd have asked me 20 years ago.
There was that one. Oh, what was her name? That common girl of yours. Becca, with the great big tits you could bury your face in.
Bessie. She was one of yours.
Bessie. Thank the gods for Bessie.
Thank the gods for Bessie. One of my very often quoted lines when I've had a very few too many drinks in a bar or in a pub. I will just quite openly just go, thank the gods for Bessie. Crazy times. Sometimes I'll just fall asleep and leave you all here for 9 hours on a stream as well. So,
Yeah.
Never know what we get up to.
Corey just said, excuse me, their friendship is awesome. But at a couple points during their talk there at the Starbucks table, I almost felt that Ned hates the king. Like just some of his glares and some of his remarks to his comments or his questions. It just seemed like he doesn't like him. But I know they're lifelong friends. But like, there's a little disdain there, I think. So that's just
there's a disdain there that's been put there because he had no choice but to accept the hand's duty. Yeah. He couldn't really say no because of who it was, because of what they've been through together. So I think he's working through his inner emotions towards Robert, because Robert has basically tore his family apart. He's moved everybody south. He's, look at the end of this episode. We lose a dog, and it's pretty crazy.
Yes.
We switch over to see what Danny and the Dothraki, decent band name, Danny and the Dothrakis, are up to, and basically Danny is on the receiving end of some unwanted rough sex from her new husband. But she goes from pain to pleasure upon the sight of her dragon eggs. So if you notice, Charles, while she's getting railed in this episode, she is constantly just fixated on those dragon eggs, isn't she?
Yes.
What does that make you think? What comes into your head when you see that?
I did put in the notes here, her dragons bring her joy. Like, she's going through complete hell with Aquaman, mounting her like a seesaw at the park. But yeah, she looks at her dragon eggs and she loves it. So,
yeah. I agree. And for YouTube purposes, guys, I couldn't show any scenes of tits and Aquaman's body, because that's probably going to get me demonetized as well. Sorry, Mitchie. Sorry if you want to hit the thumbs down button. I understand. I get it.
I've already hit it twice.
Jeremy says Cersei is literally just the worst person on every single level. I completely agree. He was pissed at Caitlyn in that scene. Ned too, really. Yeah. At least Rob embraced him as a brother. I agree. Their friendship is awesome, says Corey. Completely and utterly agree. Definitely, their friendship is a budding brosome, and I'll keep quiet for the rest. When I first started watching, I thought they were called Deathrackies. Okay, I can understand. Deathrackies. And Jeremy also says, I was a bit curious if when she got off that horse, when she saw because of the horse or because of the wedding night. Ding! Nice one. Right, bear with me on this one, guys. On the road to the wall, Jon starts to learn more about just what he's gotten himself into. The Noble Night's Watch is more than a halfway house for felons. Tyrion knows what Jon is yet to learn about the once revered group. That they're now mostly a motley group of ex-rappers, thieves, and miscreants of various persecutions. Jon still believes he's on a noble calling to protect the world from the threats north of the wall, but Tyrion dismisses those as fables, as grumpkins and snarks, which is directly from the book, by the way. That's George R.R. Martin's writing. While still Jaime had been insulting and demanding to Jon, Tyrion seems to be more gently kidding in his approach. We also learn more about Tyrion and his family. His father Tywin had been the hand of the previous king until his brother Jaime had killed the king, hence Jaime's obvious if well-deserved nickname, the Kinslayer. Recognizing his own physical limitations, Tyrion arms himself with knowledge, which is why if his nose isn't in some whore or goblet of wine, it's in a book. This is how he honors his house, which we spoke about yesterday on the character introductions. We spoke a little bit about Tyrion and about how he likes to read and all that kind of stuff. Back to Caitlyn, standing vigilantly again over Bran. Maester Luwin comes to discuss business, but she's in no mood. Rob to the rescue. He poignantly reminds Caitlyn that she has other children besides Bran, but she's not really interested in doing anything else but wait for Bran to awake. A fire outside the castle draws Rob out of the room, but Caitlyn stays. Suddenly, some creepy guy comes up and tries to kill Bran. Caitlyn fights back fiercely, but it is Bran's direwolf who ultimately saves the day. So, Charles, I wanted to ask you about this scene. Did you notice anything about this scene?
Blood and cheese moment. That's all I saw.
Blood and cheese?
That's what I saw.
Okay, so there was something big and glaring that you did miss, which was the dagger.
Well, yeah, because the dagger was Valyrian steel and dragon.
Yeah. And it's the same dagger that we have in House of the Dragon that has the writing on, that is, the kings and all that stuff. So it rears its ugly head in episode 2, and I feel like House of the Dragon attached the prophecy to the dagger, which isn't a thing in the book. The prophecy isn't attached to this certain dagger in the book. The prophecy is of Azor Ahai and the prince that was promised. Or, after the scenes of House of the Dragon, the princess that was promised. You know, just to be factual. Because I think in High Valyrian there is no gender for the word Azor Ahai. It's prince or princess, which I do believe we'll hear later from another character as well. Dany is being tended by her handmaidens, and they chat about dragons, which of course leads to the discussion about how to satisfy her husband without having him rape her. Dany was intrigued by the idea that men talk when they are happy and satisfied. So it looks like her goal is to enhance the relationship to gain her husband's confidence. Jon's and ours first sight of the wall is upon us. Its huge, stark, and desolate structure, and icy crags and sheer lines that extend far as the eye can see, but still more warm and inviting than Caitlin. Good to see you, Kenneth. Thanks for being here, brother. Appreciate you being in the chat. You're literally in every single live stream that I ever watch within the Funko community and the extending community past that. So thank you, Kenneth, for being here. You're appreciated and very welcome in this community.
Yes, thank you.
Let me just check I haven't missed any videos that I need to play. Oh, yeah.
Next time I see you, you'll be all in black.
It was always my colour.
Farewell, Snow.
And you, Stark.
Yep, that was the meeting of the boys. Goodbye, Stark, and goodbye, Snow. Very poignant scene. Again, we could talk more about it, but I will refrain from doing that. Here's a scene from the wall.
Welcome.
Crazy, right, Charles? It's massive, isn't it?
It's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. I like it. Let's keep going, shall we? So back at Winterfell, Caitlin goes CSI Westeros, trying to reenact Bran's fall, looking for clues. It's obvious now that the attempted assassination of the boy, that it was not an ordinary fall. She calls together her team and tells them of her suspicions. Maester-at-Arms Roderick Castle, long-braided sideburns guy, inspects the dagger that was used to attack her and says it is Valyrian steel, which is too expensive for any ordinary criminal. They all agree that it seems like the Lannisters, with their vast wealth, would be behind this. Though they still don't know why, Theon Greyjoy is all ready to team up with Robb to go to war against the Lannisters, but Maester Luwin urges caution. It is decided that Caitlin will travel the King's Road. What a coincidence, everyone, on the King's Road, on the name. This episode is called King's Road, so, you know, just ties into that. To tell Ned about her suspicions. She tells Robb that he must stay back home because there must always be a Stark in Winterfell, and technically she's Tully, just a Stark by marriage. She puts some weird arts and crafts thing with some possible religious significance to the Seven, to whom she's been praying, over his bed, and says goodbye to Bran. So yes, the thing that she puts on the wall for Bran signifies all of the 7 gods. I don't remember the name off the top of my head right now, which is very terrible of me. I'll slap my own hand for that. Let me check the chat. Maester spoke wise words to stop retaliation for the moment. Yeah, I agree.
Definitely.
The Maesters are always very smart and very wise and should always be listened to. Do I have a clip to play? No. Oh, yeah.
What I am about.
If she only knew where that came from, she wouldn't be pulling up through her fingers.
I love it. Yeah, we've read all that. Okay. From there, we get to Dany's sex lessons and how not to have love like a slave. She's concerned he won't like it, but her fears are quickly put to rest as Drogon likes quite a bit. Sansa is out walking her pet direwolf when she keeps bumping into scary-looking men, including the royal executioner Sir Ilan Payne, who we are told is not too talkative since the Mad King had his tongue pulled out with hot pincers. Another scary man, the Hound, may look fierce, but he is rather mothering to her. Joffrey comes up and shoos the Hound away to protect his lady, and the two go off for a nice walk. And here we see this scene. So it isn't pointed out in the show, but the significance of this scene to me is massive because we are on the banks. Let me get my notes because I don't want to be wrong with this. Also on the riverbanks when the kids are play fighting, that's on the banks of the Ruby Ford at the Trident, where most of the Battle of Robert's Rebellion took place. Robert's hammer famously smashed the rubies out of Rhaegar Targaryen's chestplate and were lost in the river. Arya and the butcher's boy were looking for them, and that's why they were at the river. That isn't explained in the show. You just see them running onto scene. In the books, they are looking for the rubies of that Battle of Robert's Rebellion, which we have spoke about many times on the episode. Headless, I'm sure you knew that little fact, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought
again, that's the thing, man. Like in this show, you have to to get everything. You really have to watch it over and over again because there's so many things you miss. I feel like, at this point, like even there's definitely scenes that I need to rewatch even now because I'm like, wait, did I know that? It's just that kind of show. Yeah. I feel like
also I'm glad you're getting that feeling though. I'm glad that you're still learning while you're here. So.
Yeah, and I feel like I've only watched Lost like one time all the way through. It's a good show, but man, there's just so much there. And I know when I was watching that and. I think I rewatched the first 2 seasons and I kind of just stopped, but I just found myself rewinding all the time. And it takes forever to get through it. Cause again, it's that kind of show that there's just so much hidden information, and everything. So, but yeah.
Definitely. Joby says she owned that moment with Khal Drogo in the bedroom. Yes, she did. She jumped on her valiant horse and rode away, didn't she? She was riding before she had dragons, guys. Before she had dragons. This scene... Go ahead. Sorry, Charles?
No, I'm good.
Okay. This scene and the fallout say so much about so many characters, says Jeremy. I completely agree. Joffrey and Sansa come upon Arya, who is play fencing with a ginger friend of hers, the butcher's boy. They are having fun, laughing and playing alongside a stream. Then the fun stops. Joffrey pulls out a real sword and challenges the butcher's boy to a fight for real with his wooden play sword. Things take a terrible turn. Joffrey starts to hurt the boy. Arya defends him and attacking him. Joffrey fights back and threatens her, and Arya's direwolf Nymeria comes to the rescue and chews up Joffrey, all while Sansa whines about her that they are ruining everything. Arya looks ready to kill Joffrey, but as he whimpers for mercy, she throws away his sword rather than impaling him, much to our disappointment. But Joffrey is royally pissed and going to take out his anger on somebody. Very fun how Robert defeated Rhaegar Targaryen on those same fields, but Arya was able to disarm him in the same place. That throws back to later in the episode when he's disappointed with his son because he says, "You let a little girl disarm you." It's because it was where he fought Rhaegar Targaryen on the Trident. So yeah, just little things that they don't quite tell you. Arya sends her direwolf away to protect her and stays in hiding. She is eventually found. Jorah Castle tells her father, who's been out looking for her, that the Lannisters found her. She is in front of the king and surrounded by Cersei and others who are taking Joffrey's side. Her sister is brought in to tell what she saw, and she is confused about what to do. Align with Joffrey and become a queen one day, or side with Arya and lose your prince. Very interesting dynamic for a young girl to go through. It's no secret though. I hate her.
That was exactly my last note. Was she was so too worried about being the princess to
Joffrey
or what happened.
Yeah, she wants to be a lady so much that she'd rather just backstab her own family to get there.
Yep.
And yeah, I will let you all know as we go through it my disdain for Sansa. taking this opportunity now to do these live streams on my channel and to publicly air my frustration with the character. And yeah, I hate Sansa a lot. She doesn't exactly stab Arya in the back, though. She feigns amnesia about the whole affair. It looks like each side will punish their own child. Arya dodging a bullet, but Cersei will have none of it. Tit for tat. She wants someone to suffer. Anyone but her darling Joffrey. So she sees to it that the Stark children pay with the life of their direwolf. Since Nymeria can't be located, it is Sansa's sweet lady who must die. But there is no price, but there is still a price to be paid, and we find out who paid and with what when we see the Hound coming back with the body of the butcher's boy. And he says he ran, but he didn't run too fast enough, I think he says. And in a drawn-out scene, in my opinion, Ned reluctantly kills Sansa's direwolf, and then the scene abruptly switches, and we see Bran suddenly waking up. Da, da, da. We have this one to play, because we didn't talk about this.
It was great honor serving in the Night's Watch. The Starks have manned the wall for thousands of years. And you are a Stark. You might not have my name. You have my blood.
I wanted to share that scene.
Oh, sorry.
For Scotland, definitely Braveheart.
Wrong movie.
I wanted to share that scene because when I think of episode 2, season 1, I think of the line, "You may not have my name, but you have my blood." It's my favorite line from the show. But one little thing with the Bran scene I want to share with you guys from the book, okay? Before we get on to talking about the direwolves and their meanings behind their name. So also in the book, Bran is in a coma, as we see in the episode, and we see through his eyes, or third eye, of the crow, not Raven. So in the book, it's the three-eyed crow, not the three-eyed Raven. He flies over the Trident and sees his father and sisters. He also flies high above the wall and cries as he knows that winter is coming and he sees it approaching. Then he opens his eyes in the book and names his dog Summer because he sees winter and he's scared of it. So he comes out of his coma and he calls his dog Summer. That's one of the meanings as to why he called that. In the show, we already kind of get the name early on, and they don't explain any of that stuff with Bran. But it's very interesting. Yes, but where was Ned when Catelyn was telling Jon to leave? I don't follow.
So
yes, but where was that Ned when Catelyn was telling Jon to leave?
So basically, when Catelyn was telling
I
Jon
think
to
he's
leave,
saying he was right there. I think
Okay.
yeah.
Go ahead, Charles.
what he's trying to say is Ned didn't speak up in the room with Catelyn when she was telling Jon just to go, get away, leave. I don't want you here. Ned wouldn't say a word because he knows Catelyn runs the show.
Yeah, I also believe that Ned knew that Jon was going to the wall, so he didn't need to intervene because he was already leaving. He just told Bran, "I'm going to the wall. Hopefully, you can come visit me." And then she says, "I want you to leave," in the sense of get out of here. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, yeah, exactly, Charles. That's what Jeremy's saying. Okay, interesting. Yeah, Headless, how do you feel about the warging of Bran with the three-eyed raven being introduced very early into the second episode of the book?
I mean, I think it's confusing, especially if you didn't read any of the book. Like I didn't really understand the whole point of it. Again, obviously now after rewatching it, I didn't know what happens, and I'm still a little confused with it toward the end of the series. But I just thought it was weird, I guess. But again, you're talking, it's a a fantasy, so it goes with the show. My biggest gripe, and I don't want to do spoilers or anything like that because I know we're only in episode 2. I just wish they, I don't know. I wish they would have spent more time on it in certain seasons.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. One of my biggest pet peeves with Game of Thrones, the TV show, and changes from the books, is, Charles, you've heard me say the word warg quite a lot with different characters. All of the Starks are connected to their direwolves through warging. Every single one of the Starks can warg in the book. They have fantastic chapters about all of them doing it. They leave it out for the show. It isn't a thing in the show that they can do. So it's one of those things that I'm expecting to see, and we don't ever see it. And yeah, it's one of my biggest disappointments from the story. But I understand visually, how do you tell those stories, and they can be a little bit jarring for the viewer and all that kind of stuff. So I get it. But yeah, after we broke it down, Charles, how would you like to score the episode? And we'll get into talking about the direwolves.
I'm gonna give it. I think last week I gave it a 7.5. I think that's what it was. I'll give this one. I'll give this one an 8. I'll give it an 8.
And what do you like about the episode better than last week's?
Just more action. We got more backstory. Last week was just kind of like, here's these 10 people. Now come back next week to learn more. So, but yeah, I liked that there was more action. We learned more people. We saw more movements, and we got some more story to the storyline. So.
Okay. Headless, how about you? How do you rate this second episode?
I'm probably right there. I'd say like a nice 8.5. And it's not the best episode, but it's definitely an improvement on the first one. And like kind of like what Charles said, like the first episode is definitely an introductory, which you have to have in a show with the cast so large. I think they definitely moved the plot forward with a lot of the characters, like I said earlier. Just a couple. Arya, you can, she gets a sword, so like right now, okay, so she's gonna kind of be like the warrior, whereas we got Sansa, who is, and as much as you hate that character, but I think in this episode, we see her so enthralled with like the glitz and glamour of being able to possibly, live in Landing, because I mean, at this point, I don't think she's ever been there. And if she was, maybe she was younger. I can't remember if she's ever been there though.
No, she never left Winterfell as a child. That was her first time in South.
You got to remember she is, although
and she's not even there yet. Remember, she's only at the Trident.
Right, but you got to remember too, she's still technically a kid. Although like I don't know exactly what age she's supposed to be. But I mean, she's
12.
probably she's probably like 16 or 17 in real life at this point. But
she's 12 in the show.
She's only 12 in that season?
Yeah.
Oh.
Dany's 14.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, okay, well that's based on the book though, but I don't think like she's not 12, like, and you can look on the screen and know that she's not 12 years old. Arya doesn't even look 12, honestly. I would have to go back.
Well, I think she's close. Like Cersei asks her, have you bled yet? And she says no. Like that's close to that age, at 12, 13.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So I see what you're saying. She's playing like 12 or 13. Yeah, I mean that's fine. But again, she's okay. So a 12 or 13-year-old kid, like you're talking like 7th grade. It's like any girl growing up, in a cold environment, and Winterfell is not the most beautiful castle in the world. And I just think that being able to even have a chance to talk to someone who comes from the glorious lands in the South, and I just think she's enthralled with that, so I don't think it's a negative for her character. Like I know you don't like her for other reasons.
I think it's a negative for her character that she lied and she didn't put her family first and all that kind of stuff.
But again, I mean, do you remember when you were in like 7th grade? Like how many times did I lie went to my family? And you got to remember the perspective of a child.
I hear you.
So but.
Yeah, no, I completely hear you. So for me, I think last episode I ranked 9.3. This one for me is a 9.5. It's a great episode. All of pretty much season 1 is in the 9s for me, and one of them is a 9.9, and yeah, they pretty much sit in there. Multiple episodes of the season will have same scorings for different seasons. I definitely look at them as a season at a time, and they have matching scores in some of them. But yeah, 9.5 for me. One of my favorite episodes, if not just for all the foreshadowing that is in this episode. When you know what you know after rewatching it, the foreshadowing in this one is unbelievable. There is so much, and we will be doing videos on them once we've got through the story. So let's continue with the direwolves, shall we? So we have some slides here of some direwolves. So Grey Wind is Robb Stark's wolf. Grey Wind Robb's direwolf is the largest and probably most formidable direwolf. This reflects Robb being the oldest and most skilled of the Stark siblings. Robb is a fantastic commander who, despite his young age, wins every battle he fights in. He bests Tywin Lannister on several occasions. Grey Wind gets his name from his speed, as he is so quick that he only see a grey blur before he attacks, hence Grey Wind. One of the unattainable, reachable Funko Pops for me. I've always wanted this one and never been able to get it. It's a great pop. Summer is Bran's wolf. Bran's direwolf is interestingly because Bran only gives him his name after he wakes up from his coma. In the books, he cannot think of what to call him, and while he dreams inside his coma, he is sent visions by Bloodraven, which include showing him the coming of the winter, the long night, and the White Walkers. Bran's naming of his wolf Summer is likely his way of naming him Hope in some way. Summer is also the smartest of the direwolves. LSAP says, I agree, Milky. If you know what you know, it's an 8. If you don't know what you know, it's an 8. If you know what you know, it's a 9.5. Right, thank you. I appreciate it. You're agreeing with me. Yeah. I guess ranking it from a first-time perspective, watching it, it would be around there. But once you've watched it so many times, it just definitely gets better. Nymeria is Arya's wolf. Nymeria is named after the Dornish warrior princess. This is obviously because Arya wants to be a warrior and have adventures despite being a girl. She attacks Joffrey and has to flee so she isn't killed. Lady is Sansa's direwolf. Sansa's direwolf is named Lady as she is stated to act very ladylike. She is the most well-behaved of the direwolves and reflects Sansa being raised to be a lady. Shaggy Dog. I have to rebut a lot of information from Shaggy Dog. Rickon's wolf is trickier as many. Shaggy Dog is the wildest and most unruly of the wolves, which is also true of Rickon Stark, amongst the Stark siblings. This dog and his meaning, this wolf and his name's meaning, has so much significance to the character Rickon Stark that if I was to explain it completely, it would be an utter spoiler. So once we get to the point that we need to get to, I will come back with the Shaggy Dog explanation. And then finally, we have Ghost. John's wolf is named Ghost because he is albino. Therefore, he is as white as snow. He is also called Ghost because he doesn't make a sound and is mute, or at least he is in the books. Now, it's interesting that Ghost isn't found. It's interesting that Ghost isn't found with the rest of the pups, as he has already opened his eyes and started to move away. Jon hears Ghost when the Starks are already getting ready to leave. This is important because, as mentioned earlier, Ghost is a mute and never makes a sound. The other Starks also do not hear what Jon hears. This likely means that Jon is the first kid to warg, as he wargs into Ghost several times in the books. One might even theorize that Ghost, being the only wolf that has his eyes open when found, could mirror Jon opening his warging eyes first. Jon is also found away from the other pups. Ghost is also found away from the other pups. This could symbolize the distance between Jon and Ned's kids, as he isn't a sibling to the others, or it could reflect that Jon is the first Stark kid to leave Winterfell as he sets off to the wall early on. And yeah, that's the explanations to the names of the wolves, basically. They have very big significance in the book, more so than in the show. As you know, we see in the second episode of the show, one of them's killed and the other one's told to go and live out in the wild, straight away. And it's heartbreaking, and I hate that they linger on the scene so much. But I am going to probably upload the wolves video as a separate video itself, because I think it's a good little video for people to learn. But I left so much out for Shaggy Dog because I just don't want to spoil anything for anybody. Ghost was the runt of the litter, but appears to be one of the largest fully grown. Yeah. It's funny how that works, isn't it, sometimes? The little one. And Tyrion is small in stature, but grand in character and history and everything. Yeah, he's fantastic. We've been going just on an hour now. There's 6 people in the chat. Please hit the like button for me, and we'll get into Meme of the Week. We've only got a couple of slides for Meme of the Week. Let me just check I haven't got any videos that I wanted to play. Oh, this one.
The woman I loved. I'll kill every Targaryen I get my hands on.
You can't get your hands on this one, can you? As long as they remain on the other side of the narrow sea. They have no ships, Robert.
There's a war coming, Ned. I don't know when, I don't know who we'll be fighting. But it's coming.
It's coming, definitely. Guys, if you enjoyed this live stream and this kind of content that I bring to you every single Monday, please consider buying me a coffee over at buymeacoffee.com/Ryan Milky. You can sign up there for monthly support and you get early access to some images and slideshows and all sorts of fun stuff. So yeah, if you'd like to, check it out at buymeacoffee.com. Let's get into it, shall we? It's Meme of the Week. So we need to play Meme of the Week. Memes.
Tonight.
You already know, we play it twice. Where's it gone?
Tonight.
I absolutely love that. We still have the Team Black and Team Green as the header for the Meme of the Week because it's just easier for me to rechange all the memes. But let's go, shall we? So here we have a thing I shared on my Instagram story the other day. I seen it on Insta. It was a pizza that somebody had turned into a Targaryen symbol. I shared it and put, fair enough, looks too good to even eat. I would just leave it there like that. And then on the right here, we have Jeremy waiting for Monday night's live stream, dressed up in his maester's outfit.
Yeah.
Just looks like he's eating a wagon wheel. I think that's a wagon wheel. That is a UK chocolate confectionery that is 2 biscuits surrounded by marshmallow with jelly in the middle. You guys would call it jelly, with jelly in the middle and then a chocolate coating on the outside. I probably just explained wagon wheels and you probably already have them over there, but hey.
So it's like a moon. Amazing. It's like a moon pie with jelly inside.
Yeah, it's a moon pie with jelly inside. Okay. Correct.
Okay.
Here, rumours were flying around at the end of House of the Dragon. Matt Smith and Olivia Cooke were dating. These were the rumours flying around. So here we have House of the Dragon co-star Matt Smith and Olivia Cooke might be dating, and I'm in shock. And here we have Rhaenyra on the right. This is the highest of treasons. They are not dating, if anybody would like to know the inside scoop. Olivia has been married for many years and is happily married wife. They are not dating, they are just very good friends. We do have another one here, though. First you take my father, now you take my man. Yeah, the rumours went absolutely crazy. I love it, though. It was very fun. Here we have something I found very funny. This is Aemon's WhatsApp messages. So here we have a message from his mom saying, fuck this shit, I'm out. Vagar messaged him saying, I want 235 sheep for dinner, thanks. Aegon messaged him, I hate you. Helena messaged him, you'll die soon. Bugface, love heart. Damon, have fun at Harrenhal, see you. And Madame Sylvie, I'm Team Black, by the way. Love it. I don't know who makes these things, but they are very, very funny. Nice. And then we have one from Rhaenyra as well. Jacaerys messaged her saying, I'm going to kill Ulf. Rhaena says, everything is doing great. Joffrey goes, Rhaena is missing. Cyrax says, Harrenhal is ghetto as fuck. Alicent says, please let me hit. Please, please. Because, you know, they were lovers in the show. And Missaria sends her 2 pictures of scissors.
Weird.
Wonder what that could mean. Does she want to ride the dragon again?
No, it's time for a haircut.
Yeah, I didn't think Missaria was a dragon rider. Maybe they'll change that for the show. Maybe we'll see her riding Rhaenyra.
You never know.
Yeah, definitely. Here we have on the left Larys with the hand of the king. He's like, no, I don't want that. But we have foot of the king, and he's like, oh yeah. And on the right, I didn't know whether I should share this or not. This is Jacaerys at the Valarian cookout on Driftmark.
That's pretty good.
And then I think that's it. And again, guys, if you want to consider buying me a coffee, please do. I appreciate all of you. Yeah, everyone's laughing in the chat. I love it. Yeah. Fidel, you've sent me so many memes this week. It's unbelievable, and I'm so appreciative of all of them. But some of them are spoilery, and I don't want to ruin Charles's experience by giving him a meme at the end of an episode that makes him think, what was that meme about, you know, and things like that. So don't fear though. Everything you've sent me, I've saved, and they're in a folder, and they're in the correct episode folder where they could be played. And yeah, so just know meme of the week is building to be a big thing that we're going to do every single week. So it's going to be fun. I felt that I did not send you enough. No, you sent me loads, bro. A lot of them were Game of Thrones, which I absolutely love because we're now on the Game of Thrones chat. But also, like I say, some of them were a little bit on the nose as to spoilers, so I didn't want to ruin them. But know that they are being saved. But yeah, that's about it. I think we've done everything. We've done meme of the week. We've done wolves, and we've done the slideshow. And we did it all in an hour and 5 minutes. Look at that. So, guys, I want to ask you guys now to assess what we did last week and how we talked about everything and what we did this week. Which one did you guys like more? Please comment down below. You don't have to put it in chat. You can reach out to me privately if you'd much prefer. But also comment down below because that helps the YouTube algorithm, especially with live streams. Because once the live stream's ended, it's usually dead and not many people will go back and watch it. So if you guys comment, that re-triggers it within the YouTube algorithm and YouTube might push it out and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I really appreciate it. Corey, I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. I know it's late for you in the UK, 2:37 a.m. to be precise.
Yes. Where everyone is in the chat, where are you all from? Put in the chat where you're from.
Yeah, that's a good question, Charles. So, Charles, are you intrigued as to who John's mother is? Are you getting that feeling?
Yes, I would like to know.
Okay.
You would like
to know. Yeah. She sounds hot?
Yeah.
Okay. Fidel says San Diego.
And I would also like to know where Bessie is.
Oh, thank the gods for Bessie.
Thank you, God, for Bessie. Yes, I would like to know where she is.
Jeremy's letting us know that he loved this week. Okay. I think I added a little bit more personality with my on-screen text with some of my jokes that we added in there and things like that, like beef jerky or horse jerky and all that kind of stuff. So 1313 Mockingbird Lane. Okay.
Does anybody know what that is?
No, I don't. I have no idea.
It's gotta be. It's a joke. I'm looking at it up right now. It's a comedy series. Oh, is that? Wait, is that where the monsters live?
Yeah.
I think it's where the monsters live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blaze, this is for you, my friend.
Lord and Lady Stark, and offer your sympathies.
What good will my sympathies do then?
None, but it is expected of you. Your absence has already been noted.
The boy means nothing to me. Oh, I can't stand the wailing of women.
One word, and I hit you again.
I'm telling Mother.
Go. Tell her. But first you will get to Lord and Lady Stark, and you will fall on your knees in front of them and tell them how very sorry you are, that you are at their service and that all your prayers are with them. Do you understand?
You can't.
So, I find it funny that he says he can't stand the wailing of women, and then when he gets slapped, it's come on, dude. Pussy.
Blaze says, "Did I just see Milky in this show?" No, Blaze. That's this personification of you every time you come into this chat and say lame. I slap you around the face like Joffrey gets slapped.
Yeah.
I'm even going to rename it in the memes folder. Blaze's bitch slap. And every time you come in and say lame, we're going to play the bitch slap. We'll cut it down so it's not 40 seconds long because HBO will probably hang me for it. But yeah, that's what we're going to do every time you come in and say lame. And eventually you'll watch the show. As we said on Fortnite the other day, 10 years later, you'll watch it and you'll be like, Milky, this dragon show is so good. And I'll just tell you to fuck off because I've had enough of it by now.
Bro, that was 35 years ago. I'd tell him over.
It was indeed. Yeah, guys, that's it. We did it in an hour. I don't feel like I rushed it. I feel like that was a very successful live. Thank you both for joining me.
Yes.
It was very good.
Always.
And I cannot wait for next week because next week we're going to be talking about Lord Snow, episode 3. John is going to the north. He's going to the Night's Watch. It's going to be very, very interesting. Charles, remember the metal poster that Randy got me in my Temu box that was the Night's Watch? Yeah, that's the whole quote. So, yeah, we'll be talking about that next week for sure. Fake dragons. Okay, bro. Go play on your fake video game where you jump out of a fake bus and land on a fake island and You don't even kill each other because you get eliminated, you know? Okay, bro. Guys, that's it. My name has been Ryan. I've been joined this evening by Charles, my Hand of the King, and Headless Ned Stark, first of his name. Please check out both of their channels over on YouTube. I will link them both in the description below. But without further ado, we'd like to wish you all a fantastic week, and we'll see you on Friday for Horseman. I think we're on Friday on Horseman. We're on, is it your channel or mine, Poppin?
Yep, mine.
It's on Poppin's channel, and we're going to be building some Lego.
We'll be building some Lego, having a drink or 12, and just hanging out. Might be an hour, might be 6 hours. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a great night, and we're going to have some fun. And I do see in my inbox that Johnny Knight has sent me something, so stay tuned to see what that is. I'll share it with the community.
Nice.
But as always, guys, remember, winter is coming. I love you all. See you later. Oh, no, we need to play a meme before we get out of here.
Alan! 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 Al! Alan! 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 Alan!
The Copacabana. Music and fashion is always the passion at the Copa. Hey! Are you filming me in the bath? Get out! Away, man, I'm naked. You better not put it on YouTube.
Oh, so that's not Alan. Steve, that's Steve.
Steve! 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 Steve!
I love it. Guys, please, if you could do anything for me, is just hit the like button. That's all I ask you to do, is just smash that like button. And if you want to go an extra mile, share it with a friend and let them know that we're talking about the show. But again, my name's been Ryan, and I'll see you next week for episode 3.